Lots to update you on today, lots to do, but first, I gotta see if the new episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is out. I signed up for a free trial of Verve like 6 months ago, and I've had premium ever since, even though I canceled it. And finally, they took it away from me, and I don't think I can access the new episode yet. I knew it was wrong to keep using that free premium, but it was so much easier to just keep using it than to report it. I always say that I love winter and fall, but the truth is, I just like the holidays in winter and fall. I don't like the weather. Do I like the weather? Well, I guess I do kind of like it. Vlog finished. Time to get naked and shower up. Man, there's so much stuff that I've been putting off all weekend because of this little guy. This is called the OSSC, which stands for Open Source Scan Converter. What it does is it takes an analog video signal from something like a Sony PlayStation, and then it will take that signal in either line double, line triple, line quadruple, or recently line quintuple, and send that out through HDMI. Now at this point in the video, there's a couple things that people might be thinking. One, this isn't any analog signal that I've seen before. This is the type of analog signal that I'm used to. This is called composite video. They send all the information through one little cable. It looks like complete garbage, especially on an HD TV. You can step up to S-Video. It separates the luminance and chroma, which I think is brightness and color, into separate signals. It looks quite a bit better. The next step up is component video. I believe it does something like the luminance and then the luminance minus blue, luminance minus red, or something like that, and separates it into 3 different signals. The best quality analog signal is called RGB, and it separates the red, green, and blue. This is called the SCART connector. The SCART connector can send any S-Video, composite, component, RGB. It's just a connector, but the actual signal being sent through it is RGB. It's the best signal. The OSSC can do component video, RGB, VGA, and then it also has some audio options. And then it sends it all out through HDMI. The other thing you might be thinking is that you've hooked up your old consoles to an HD TV before, and you're like, man, that looks like garbage, but I don't care. I'm clearly not one of those people. You might be thinking, well, I can play PS1 games on my PS3 through HDMI. If you think that, this is not for you. This is for obsessive compulsive people. It should be like the obsessive, scan, source, compulsive people. Anyways, the PlayStation is hooked up through SCART, HDMI out to my TV, we flick it on, turn on the PlayStation. So, this is RGB pass-through. This is just its original 320 by 240 resolution, just spit out to the TV, looks like garbage. Notice how completely blurry and ugly and stretched out it is. Now, the beautiful part about the OSSC is you can line double 240p to 480p. Look how much nicer that looks already. You notice that it actually looks somewhat like it should. But let's skip right ahead to the line quintupling that takes it all the way up to 1600 by 1200 resolution. And oh my goodness, look how beautiful it looks. And you can even add scan lines to give it that kind of CRT-ish look. Look how amazing that looks. That looks so good. Now, this is not a route that I recommend anybody go down because it's very like obsessive compulsive and just like, it's just like way too much sweating over the details. It's totally worth it if you really are into this type of stuff. But this is also for people who probably like thinking about video games more than they like actually playing them. AJ put it really well. He said at some point you have to stop polishing the window and just look out it. But oh man, I think that window was polished, boy, woo! Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention is there's no input lag. So as soon as you press the button, it happens on screen. You'd be surprised at how much you've missed not having input lag. It makes games feel so crisp and tight and you feel like you're in control. Like playing an old game on a new TV, it's like you press it and then 2 seconds later, Mario jumps and it feels swimmy and unresponsive. It sucks. Anyways, I literally spent all day yesterday playing with that thing, and on Saturday I forgot about this. On Saturday I found this for $5 on Craigslist. I had to drive 40 minutes each way to pick it up, so it definitely was not worth that. But of all the systems that did not make the leap to the next generation, the Wii was the worst culprit of all. It looks so trash in HD resolutions. But it does do 480p, and 480p looks beautiful on CRT monitors. So, one side effect of the OSSC is that you can output to VGA, which is this looking connector right here. The adapter hasn't arrived yet, but once that gets here, I'm gonna test it out. This type of stuff is interesting on its own right. It's not so much about playing the games anymore, it's about what can we do with these things and how far can we go to ridiculous levels. It's like people who like tweak out their cars and stuff. That interests me zero. I just want a car from A to B. A lot of people just want to play the games. They don't want to do all this other stuff. It's probably a much healthier way to live, to be honest. I'm just gonna see if I can rehabilitate this dingy white shirt that I have a little bit. I've tried to give up on it many times, and then just every time I'm like, I can't quite give up on it. On another note, I finished Next Generation. That was a very sad day. But Deep Space Nine, oh man, it may even be better. Come on, son. This actually worked pretty well. This shirt looks kind of white again. Nice. I had this recurring dream that my shoes are not tied and I'm trying to run. I don't know what exactly it means, but I do know that not having certain things prepared really bothers me. But it's weird because I don't actually plan everything in advance. I just want all of the tools and stuff ready and working. I may not know what trails I'm gonna be going on, but I want my flashlight to have charged batteries and to be in working order before I go. And if it's not, that really bothers me. But if I take a completely different trail at the last second, that doesn't bother me, if that makes sense. So I've got a bunch of random tasks that need to be accomplished. Mondays are usually where I have the highest motivation to like get stuff done. Especially like if I've spent a weekend doing like nothing. I'm like, I need to get back on track. Because I'm gonna donate a bunch of this stuff. I know this Dungeons and Dragons stuff might be valuable, or one of you guys might have wanted it, but sorry, I'm prioritizing getting it out of my life. I did pop in real quick to see if they had like any GameCube component cables just lying around. The possibility does exist you might find something like that.
So excited about this change.
Okay, I think I've done everything we need to do. I probably should have wrote everything down. So there's a pretty funny picture right here of me and my brother dressed up as Raiden, including alternate costume for Halloween. And the funniest part is I still have those costumes, so let's check those out right now. You're supposed to have a black belt right there. Oh, my brother's had shoulder pads. Look at this.
I just need the hat.
All right, I'm going to Brennan's house. Sorry, Hyrule Legend 64, still no Stone Age gamer. I will do another one with him at some point. Playing Dragon Quest today. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna eat all their food. I'm starving. That's about it. Good times were had by all. I stole a piece of fruit stick or whatever. And by stole, I mean I just took one. Okay, now that's gonna do it for today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you then. I gotta make it fresh and new like it was. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't have to, I barely. Because another recurring dream that I have a lot is the one where I signed up for a class at the beginning of the semester and I forget that I have the class, and then it's like 6 months later and I'm like, oh man, I haven't been doing any of the work in the class. And right now, the Adventure Archives episode that needs to be edited is kind of like that. But as I said earlier, I'm leaving on Wednesday, so that's not getting done.